There's a really big shift happening right now in the software that runs our businesses. We're moving away from tools that just, follow commands to something way more powerful. We're talking about a new kind of AI that can actually think, plan, and act all on its own. So today we're going to dive into how this agentic AI is totally transforming platforms like ServiceNow and what that really means for the future of work. For years, decades even, we've had to program our software with these rigid step-by-step instructions. Click this, run that report, send this email. But what if we could just flip that entire model on its head? What if you could just state a goal, something like onboard our new marketing director, and the software itself figured out every single step to make it happen? Well, that's the powerful idea we're digging into today. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the limits of today's automation and see how we're breaking through them. Then we'll define what agentic AI really is. After that, we'll see how this tech is getting a serious supercharge inside ServiceNow, how it's completely changing the job for consultants, and finally, what it's going to be like to have AI as a coworker, which is happening sooner than you think. Okay, so let's start with the automation we all know and, well, that we know. Even the most advanced systems today are basically just following a script. A really smart to-do list, sure, but a to-do list nonetheless. They run through a sequence of tasks that we've had to painstakingly map out, and that's useful for sure, but it's also really brittle. It can't reason or adapt if something unexpected happens. We are right on the edge of moving past that limitation for good. So, this next wave is called Agentic AI, and what really sets it apart is its ability to proactively plan and adapt. See, instead of giving it a list of tasks, you just give it a goal. It then uses some really advanced reasoning, kind of like a large language model, to figure out the steps on its own, execute them, and, this is the key part, it can pivot and change its plan if it hits a roadblock, just like a resourceful person on your team would. This chart right here really gets to the heart of it. Standard automation is all about following rules. Agentic AI, it's about achieving goals. One is focused on just doing tasks, the other is focused on delivering an outcome. It's a huge shift from being a reactive tool to becoming an autonomous partner that actually understands what you're trying to accomplish. Here's a great way to think about it. A calculator is an amazing tool, right? But it's totally passive. It only does exactly what you tell it to do. An agentic AI, though, acts more like a new colleague. You don't give it button press instructions, you give it a project. It then takes the initiative, figures out all the complex parts, and works on its own to get the result you wanted. Now, I know this might all be sounding a little bit like science fiction, but it's really not. Let's take a look at how this theory is becoming a powerful reality right now, inside one of the most important enterprise platforms in the world, ServiceNow. So for anyone who's not familiar, ServiceNow is basically the digital plumbing for thousands of the world's biggest companies. It's the platform that handles all the workflows from IT and HR to customer service and beyond. It's really the connective tissue between all the different departments. And because it's plugged into all these systems, it is the perfect launchpad for an AI agent designed to handle these big company-wide tasks. And this is where it gets really real. An HR manager can just state the goal. Onboard our new hire, Jane Doe. That's it. From that one simple command, the AI agent just springs into action. It gets into the IT system to order a laptop. It's checking calendars to schedule orientation meetings. It's connecting to the finance system to handle payroll. It orchestrates all of these tasks across different departments completely on its own. A process that used to take days of people chasing each other down is now just handled in the background, all leading to one simple outcome. The goal is achieved. So, if the AI can now handle these complex workflows all by itself, what does that mean for the human experts? The consultants who normally build these systems? Well, this is causing a huge shift for consulting firms everywhere, and we can kind of see how by looking at the changing role through the lens of a firm like Anasup Consulting. Traditionally, a ServiceNow consultant's job was super technical. They lived down in the weeds, writing scripts, manually configuring these complex systems, and painstakingly mapping out every single step of a workflow. Their value was all about their ability to wrestle the technology in the submission and just make it work. But now, with agentic AI handling all those low-level tasks, the consultant's role just elevates dramatically. They're not just an implementer anymore. They're becoming a strategist. Their focus is shifting from how the technology works to what it should be achieving. They're now partnering with the business to define the right goals for the AI, design the high-level strategy, and make sure the outcomes are actually delivering real value. It's a total pivot from technical work to strategic leadership.
And look, this change isn't just for consultants or IT teams. It's pointing to a much bigger change in how every single one of us is going to interact with technology at work. This right here, this captures the very core of this whole shift. For decades, our work has been about managing software, clicking the buttons, filling out the forms, basically babysitting the processes. The future is about managing outcomes. Our job is going to be to define the what, the goal we want to hit. And our new digital colleagues, the AI agents, they'll be in charge of figuring out the how. So that leaves us with this final, really critical thought. This isn't some futuristic daydream. This technology is here. It's being rolled out on the very platforms that run the global economy. The question is no longer if we'll be working with AI agents, but how quickly we can learn to lead them. Is your workplace, and more importantly, are you ready for a team of digital employees?